The Short Take with Alex and Jake.
Hello, and welcome to The Short Take, the podcast where we talk about all things short films. Apart from when we don't. I'm your host, Jake, and with me, as ever, is my co-host, Alex.
That's me.
How you doing this week?
I'm alright.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Still tired and
I'm
hot?
more tired more hot than the last time you spoke to me.
Which was about a week ago, if
yeah,
I recall.
It was about a week. Ooh. W-E-A-K.
That makes no sense.
It was a week ago.
This week, we've got a film picked by Alex called... What?
That's me.
Yeah, that is you. We're going backwards in time, I feel.
Whoa. Yeah.
The film's called Pizza Time.
It's called Pizza Time.
Do you want to take over?
Yeah, alright. It's not Spider-Man related. Sorry to say.
The top comment on this video was there was a surprising lack of Tobey Maguire's in this film.
There you go, see? Yes, this is a film called Pizza Time. The reason I chose it is it's billed as, and it is, an action comedy, which I would say is right up my alley.
Yep.
Love an action comedy.
Bullet Train was your second favourite film
I was
of
literally
last year.
just thinking that, yeah. And arguably Everything Everywhere has a lot of action comedy in it.
Does as well, yes.
So yeah, big fan of that. This is a film which, when I watched, I didn't realise, but is made or produced by Film Riot.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like, how involved were they? You said you watched the behind the scenes video when I should have.
They weren't particularly involved.
Okay, so this is more of a thing if they put their name on it rather than it actually being them making it.
It's so Make Table, who are the people who actually made this.
Okay.
Are like, I think they're really good friends.
Okay.
Is the idea, and they
Yeah.
like supported them, and
Yeah.
like it gave them a wider audience,
and
putting
they
it on Film
seem to
Riot.
have a Kickstarter or something.
They did have
yeah?
a Kickstarter, yes.
I read that they had
Can't
a
believe
budget
you're asking me
of
these
about.
questions.
Fuck you. I read they had a budget of about estimated 30,000.
Okay, I didn't. They didn't actually mention the number
Ha!
in the
I win.
behind the scenes.
Which is interesting.
Have you done the synopsis yet?
I haven't done the synopsis. Let's do that. That's a really good idea.
Maybe we should start there.
So, Pizza Time is about a pizza delivery driver goes to the right place at the wrong time when he stumbles into the scene of a hitman's contract killing. Oh, very spicy.
Very intriguing.
Like a pepperoni on a pizza.
Yep. Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. And very on theme as well.
Yes.
Because this film's about pizza.
And
What?
time.
Time does pass at a linear rate.
It does in this film. Yeah, what's your overall for, maybe? How do we do this? Last episode,
You're really tired.
I'm really tired. Last episode, all we did was talk about law. Like, about power into law. So, like, I'm thrown off of the usual vibe of the episode.
Yeah, last week was a bit of a weird one because
Yeah.
it was about Power Rangers. What feeling did you have coming away from this film?
I think if I had to sum it up with, like, a phrase, and this is really mean, but I'd say it's wasted opportunity.
Okay.
I think there's a lot in this film, idea-wise, that's good. And I think it's executed not great.
Mine is something along the lines of, that was a bit weird.
Yeah, I think a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think is the main thing I would take away from it. It's a shame because I think it has a lot of good stuff in it and a lot of good ideas and tiny moments that are surrounded by kind of stuff that's like a bit silly.
Yeah.
Not fully thought out, I think maybe.
Well, should we start with the good?
Yeah,
and then
let's
we can
start with
work
the
our
good.
way meandering towards
Yeah,
that
we
stuff.
love a meander.
We do.
Meander.
That's nothing.
It's not a thing. I think the main character, the actor, is pretty good.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. I think he's got some really good facial expressions. Obviously, there's not a ton of dialogue in the film, which I quite like.
I want to come back to that.
I wish... In fact, does he only say pizza time? Does he ever say...
Pizza time?
And then at the end,
And then
he
he's,
goes,
it's pizza time.
He
He says no once. He's like, no, when he goes to eat the pizza.
Does say that, yeah. Which, yeah, is fine, I guess. I kind of like the idea that his character and basically everyone in it barely says anything.
Okay.
In general, I like that.
Okay.
I think the set design and the production design is obviously very high.
The production design is insane, I think.
It's really good for the most part. I think there's a couple of bits where I'm like, but...
They bought those game machines.
Okay, I want to get back to that.
Okay. I enjoyed the set design, I think. I think it, on the whole, it gave a different vibe to each room they were in. So it you got that contrast, like the blue lighting in the game room, and then the kind of warm orangey lighting in the living room,
Yeah.
and then the white kind of lighting in the kitchen. It just gives some contrast to what is happening.
Yeah, I guess so.
Um,
I think the set at the beginning to me blew me away more.
The pizza,
The actual pizza restaurant.
I love the opening sequence.
Yeah, I think it's
the
very
music,
good.
the editing,
Yeah.
like the shots and like color.
There's stuff I want to come back to again in the negative to do with all this stuff.
Okay.
But generally speaking, I really
Yeah.
like it.
I don't know if I should cover this in nitpicks, but it is something I really loved about it. When he's walking through the restaurant to take the pizza out, every single photo on the wall
I want to talk about that.
is of
But
him.
in the negative.
Oh, in the negative.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was funny.
It's
personally.
funny. I think it's funny, and I think there is something to it. And again, I think it's an idea that's good.
Yeah.
I think there's other stuff I want to talk about too.
Okay.
But there's like a lot that kind of all is encompassing in one central thing they've done
Right.
that I think is very negative.
I like the music quite a lot, I think.
Yeah, music's good.
The building up to the title card was really fun.
Yeah.
It felt like a weirdly like Law and Order type title
Yeah,
card.
weirdly. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. I like the 80s aesthetic that they've got going on. It's very like Stranger Things-esque.
So in the behind the scenes, they talk about this. They were like they want it to be 80s, but like with a modern twist to it. So
Yeah.
like it's it's full aspect ratio, the colors and stuff like that. It's like modern stuff, but yeah, with that 80s tinge to it, which I really liked. I really enjoyed that.
I think from the bit where he goes just before and during when he goes through the table, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that section of the film onwards is pretty good, which is basically the end of the film. Like nothing really happens after that. I think that's where the film kind of is a film for me for a bit. And I'm like, oh, there's like this is good. Like the pacing's good and like stuff's happening and they're reacting to stuff and I don't know how to explain that without getting into the negatives. What I don't like about the rest of it. But generally speaking, I think that second half or like a section, that last section of it is decently strong.
Yeah.
I really like the gag about him seeing the shoes on the floor and then taking his own shoes off.
Yes.
And it's fun. And I like the fact we never really find out why the other guy took his shoes off, other than that's just something he does, I guess.
I assumed that was the hitman's shoes.
It's the hitman's shoes because he's not wearing shoes the whole time.
I mean, to be quiet, I assumed.
I guess so, yeah. I wouldn't think of that. I just think it's kind of interesting. I don't know. But I like the gag of him seeing the shoes and then going, oh, okay. And then taking his shoes off. That's fun. I think obviously the concept of the film is really strong. I really like the idea of a pizza guy turning up and somebody's being murdered or attacked or whatever.
And they get involved.
And then him having to like escape that is really fun. The stunt effects were really good, like him going through the table and like the wine bottle being used a couple of times.
Yes.
They were really good effects. The stair falling down as well, like by the actor, was very good.
Yeah.
Or the stunt man who's playing that character in that scene.
Yeah, he did actually just fall down the stairs.
Yeah, which is impressive. And
Yeah.
I'm always amazed by stuff like that.
Yeah. I think the costume design was really strong.
It was. I think both the characters' costumes are very
Yeah.
strong, with like him wearing the tracksuit.
They were gonna go for like a suit type direction, so like mafia kind of stuff. But they had a conversation with I think it was with the costume designer, and she was like, everyone does suits and stuff. What about something different, like a tracksuit? Which is what
it changes the character, gives like especially with the fact, like I said, the characters don't really speak.
Yeah.
So much is said about them from their costume design.
Yeah, for
in
sure.
a really good way. And yeah, him wearing that tracksuit with that massive beard.
Yeah.
Is such a specific character.
Oh, for sure. It's
I
like
love it.
It definitely gives you Hitman vibes.
Yeah, Russian Hitman.
Yeah,
Like-
definitely. I loved the pizza guy. He had pizza socks on. Love that.
Oh, did he? I didn't
Yeah.
remember that. That's good.
And like the vibe is very. I guess it's reminiscent of like Fry from Futurama, who was a pizza delivery guy.
That's a good point.
It's kind of that vibe.
I see that.
But then he's probably copied that from somewhere else as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's just
probably.
like a generic pizza guy kind of
Yeah.
from the 80s look.
It's interesting.
I really enjoyed that.
Is there anything else that jumps out to you in the good?
No.
Okay. I've got one more thing, which is that I quite like I don't know how I feel about this, because I don't think it fully fits, and I don't know if it should be there, but I think the final after credits
Oh yes,
gag
yeah.
is very funny.
Yeah, that's quite fun.
And I think it's maybe the funniest gag in the film, which is maybe an issue.
I do like his line before he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to pay for that," and then it cuts to black.
That is a good gag, actually.
I think that is the best gag to end the film.
But then
on.
I do like the after credit bit of him just talking to him, just what he's saying is very funny to me.
Yeah.
Like after all this happened and everything, and him saving his life essentially, and he's like, "I'm not eating that."
Yeah.
Like, he's eating it. You think that's like fair? Like, go and get me pizza. I'm gonna go and get my chakra worked out. Like, that was fun.
Are you done?
I think
good?
so. Yeah.
Should we move on to bad then?
Yeah. I think the worst thing about this film is it's so on the edge and so close constantly to being a proper film and just not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much stuff that you do not properly set up for payoff, but they always try and do the payoff.
Yeah.
And it fucks me off so much. The reason I have a problem with the opening is he walks by like 700 pictures of himself, some of them with him with a mustache, which makes it really confusing because you don't see his face until later on, and his face does not have a mustache on it.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a different character for a moment when I saw it. I was like, oh, he's not the best delivery driver. Like, because clearly whoever this is.
Yeah.
But then I realised it was him. Like, just with a mustache that he doesn't have in the film. That's so... I get that maybe they're trying to do a thing where it's like, oh, it's been so much time that he's been doing it. Or whatever,
Yeah.
but it doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have a single shot that stopped and focused on one of those pictures. That's all you need.
Okay.
Have a shot where it stops and focuses. It's like, most on-time deliveries. Most perfect delivery rate. That immediately sets up the thing of him he keeps looking at the app.
Yeah.
That has like the minute thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They kind of establish that as important, but not really.
Not
like, there's no
enough.
real moment where we find out what that's about, even. So you two birds with one stone within seconds. If you just had a fucking shot, like one of these pictures with like a little tab thing underneath, you'd immediately set up shot everything about his character we need to know, and there's no dialogue said. And the fact that like they basically do it but they don't annoys me.
Yeah,
like it's like it's there. Why didn't anyone stop and go, hang on? Like, we need that, because otherwise how will people know anything about him, really?
Yeah.
It's so throwaway. And I think the film does that constantly throughout. As it goes, it keeps doing this thing where it's like not setting up stuff but setting it up. And I think that's why the last section of it works the best, because it has the shoe setup gag paying off, which is that he steps on the Lego, which is fun.
Yeah.
And then it has the bit where he picks... This doesn't fully make sense, but I'll give it credit for what it is. When he picks up the pizza for the first time, the guy, he's like, ooh, like, it's hot?
Yeah.
And then the final thing is he's like, it's pizza time, and he throws the pizza in his face, and the guy's like, ah, because it's, like, too hot.
Yeah.
That's a fun payoff. That's a payoff to, like, in both a comedic way and in, like, a story way. It's like, oh, no, we know this works because this.
Yeah.
Like, it's a mathematic equation.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are so many moments in the film. The bit where he calls down to the customer's phone, they don't set that up. There should be a moment where he remembers or something and he's like, what do I do? Like, not him saying it, but that you can show it visually. Have it be that he looks at the app and then he looks down, and then underneath where the timer is that he's stressing out about, he sees, like, contact customer.
Yeah.
Something, anything to set
and
these
just like an
moments up.
insert of the blank phone kind of thing to
Yeah.
be like, oh, this is the brainwave.
Because we don't know what he's doing in that moment. He's
Yeah.
just sat there going, it's like, is he calling for help?
And he's
why didn't he
typing
call for help?
so long?
Exactly, this is my thing, and I'm like, and why would the guy? I don't know. It really bugs me. Again, it's like the idea's there, and I think the idea of that's a really fun concept to be like, oh yeah, he could contact the customer's phone, and that can distract the guy. That's a fun idea, but they just kind of fuck it up.
And they just fumble it.
Yeah, and it keeps happening.
Yeah.
The arcade machine thing, I don't like the design of the house personally. I think the house is too overly designed, I guess, maybe is the term. It's like an insane house that I don't understand who would ever live there. Who the fuck is this character who lives in it?
They did actually have a different house, and it fell through 3 days before shoot, I think.
Very interesting.
And they had to find another one.
I would rather it was a normal house
than
the big house they seem to have.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had a bigger house before, because it seems like it could be kind of considered a downgrade, maybe.
I think it was a smaller house before.
Interesting. Very interesting. I just like, yeah, I don't know. The arcade machine thing is a cool concept that doesn't
do anything.
No, it's like they try and do a gag there, but they don't go hard enough on it for it to be fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most throwaway sound effects. Also, the sounds are awful in this
Yes,
film.
the sound
The
design is
kitchen
very
scene
bad.
is missing so much Foley.
Yeah.
There's no sound on their movement for loads of it. It feels like you're like, wait, what's missing? What am I missing? It's like a whole track that's been muted for some reason.
When he chucks the bottle behind him in the sink,
And it goes blink blink.
yeah, and
It's like,
what?
what?
What is
Add a
happening?
smash.
Yeah, that would have smashed.
Have him throw it back. Actually, something I should say in the good, I do think the bit where he throws the knife back is a fun gag, where he's holding the board and then it zooms out and then it's in his arm.
Yes.
That's fun.
Again,
a lot of these moments.
It doesn't
though,
affect anything though.
No.
For the rest of the film, he does not act like he's just been stabbed very deeply in the arm.
Right, and it's like, I think this is the problem with like a lot of the stunt work in it is good, but it's not doing the cool thing stunts can do, which is and we talked about this when we talked about was it Warlike?
Warlike, yeah.
Yeah, I can't really remember that. When we talked about Warlike, it's not doing the cool thing that stunts can do, which is tell a story through stunts. You can tell a story through just action, and like you can have fun with that, especially if it's an action comedy. There's so much you can do, and like I think they're on the cusp of it because it's stuff like him throwing the bottle at him, and the first time it hits him, he's like, haha, and he throws another one, the guy just catches it, and it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
But then why didn't he throw it back, like, or something? Like, I don't know, just like the idea of, imagine it's one shot, like not a just a whip pan we're going through, we're not cutting. We go that side, he throws the bottle, we whip pan. There can be a hidden cut or whatever. We go across, it's like, then we whip pan, and he's like, haha. And then we whip pan back, and the guy just, he throws the bottle again. The guy catches it, throws it back, we whip pan back, and we have him getting hit. And he's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, anything like that could be hilarious. Like, it'd be a really good payoff. And instead, it's just, like, not a moment.
Yeah.
They don't do that. I don't know, it just keeps doing that over and over again for most of it until that end section where I think it does kind of pay off a bit. It's also the thing of the gun being left under the sofa. I would wish he didn't get a chance to go for the gun because they have to put in this weird bit where he goes for the gun, then the driver runs away, and so he just stops going for the gun because he's like, I need to stop him, which does make some logical sense, but also it's like, I'd rather you just never had him try and get the gun at that point. Like, he was just so invested in stopping the driver guy that he just forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then you get the moment at the end where he pulls the gun out. I think would be better. Like, I think it would be a better payoff. You'd be like, oh shit, the gun.
Yeah.
Like, but instead you're like, oh, there's that gun that he didn't grab earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, he speaks like in the hitman. Does he say something in like Russian or something at one point?
He says something in English.
He says something in English at the end, but there's a bit where when he eats the pizza or something, and he says like blue or something.
No, he's just laughing manically. He's like, ha 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 ha.
Is it? I swear he says something.
No, he's just laughing.
When he talks at the end, it's in the American accent. It's such a letdown.
Yeah.
Like, he should either never said anything, or he should have just said something in Russian to him.
My biggest criticism of the film
Go on.
is I don't understand the distinction in the choices they made in the dialogue. Because the first section of the film, other than him saying pizza time when he walks in the door, completely silent.
Yeah.
And then suddenly at the end there's these weird bits of dialogue that kind of, they make you go like, oh, they are willing to use dialogue. Why didn't they use dialogue in these other bits that felt really absent of anything?
Yeah.
There's these weird moments. Like, I like the idea that the guy who wakes up and he's like, I'm not paying for that, that he has the majority of the actual lines.
That's funny.
I like, because it's like, it breaks the illusion of what is happening with the silence and stuff. It's weird.
Yeah.
The American hitman guy should not have said a word the whole film.
Yeah.
And I think a funny gag, I don't know how you would necessarily do this. I feel like a funny gag could be the delivery guy. The only lines he says throughout the entire film is just pizza time.
Yeah.
Like Groot does.
Yeah.
He can only say pizza time.
Yeah.
And he just keeps saying it in random situations.
See, I don't know about that, but it would be funny to have him saying it sparingly, but like, that's the only lines he does, and each time is just him saying it kind of in a different context.
That's what I mean. It's
And
like
then,
different.
I like the idea of at the end, maybe the final thing is the guy looks at him, he's like, what are you doing here? He's like, it's pizza time.
Yeah.
Like, that could be really good. If the character, the hitman, was Russian, which he clearly is meant to be, I just don't understand how he speaks like an American accent at the end. If he just said something in Russian, I feel like that would be in line with what the film's doing, because it's like, we don't know what he's saying.
Yeah.
Like, there is still technically no dialogue in a way.
Yeah.
Like, because it is him saying something in another language, and it's like, have it be like one line, like not even a line, like a word or something he says to him. It could be like, it could be pizza time in Russian.
Yeah, that would be funny.
It's pizza time, but we don't know he's saying that. But then somebody in the comments would be like, "Oh my god, guys, in Russian he's saying it's pizza time."
Yeah.
That'd be great. Like, this is my problem with the film, though. It's like, how did they make this film with such a good production? Like,
I mean, £30,000.
£30,000, which is a good amount of dollars, sorry,
whatever,
which is a good amount of money, and with all this kickstarter stuff, I just don't understand how all this stuff slipped through the net.
Yeah.
Is all I can think about. Is like, because there's no way they wouldn't. I feel like this is in line with what they're doing, what we're saying.
Yeah.
And I feel like they would look at it and be like, "Fuck yeah, why didn't we do that? Why didn't we do that?" And I'm like, "Why didn't you?"
Yeah.
What? I don't even. Maybe it's a rush. Maybe they rushed the production a bit.
They didn't though. They had like in the behind the scenes, they had so much time. They choreographed the whole thing.
That's nuts. I also think the editing doesn't. Again, similar to last week, we talked about Power Rangers. I think the editing doesn't do any favors to some of the choreography in the first part.
Okay.
When they first like get into a fight, there's like a cut where it cuts to it, and there's there's a bit where I think it's after he kicks the gun away for the first time and knocks the gun away.
Yeah.
And then the Russian, quote unquote, the hitman, like punches the pizza guy, or he knocks the pizza down, then hits him. Something in there, I can't remember exactly which bit it is. There's a bit where it just lingers for slightly too long before the thing happens, and so just cut the first chunk of that out and just have it be immediately like boop, like straight into like the next action bit.
Yeah.
And instead it just lingers, and it looks so dumb because it's also not a shot where you're meant to be. It's meant to be a throwaway shot in the sense that it's like it's angled in such a way to emphasize just the hit.
Yeah.
It's not angled to like emphasize the character's emotions in that scene. It's like a medium shot. Like I think I want to say it's on like a different degree as well. I don't know.
There are a couple of Dutch angles in this.
And it's like, why are we lingering on this? Why are we not just immediately having him getting punched in the face?
Yeah.
Which is annoying, and I feel, I don't know, it ruins the pacing, I think, of moments like that.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting because in the behind the scenes, the director talked about his influences and stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, the way this film came around was he was like, I just wanted to make an action film and never felt like I had the budget to do it.
Yeah.
And he was like, my biggest influence is like Jackie Chan films. And it's like, yeah, but Jackie Chan films, like, there's character through the action that is happening.
Yeah.
And this just doesn't, it just takes the action and puts it in and doesn't put any of the character into it.
If you're 100% right, that is what it is. That you can feel the like mechanicalness of it.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because, like we said, I think the costume designer managed to get a lot across with those characters with just this costume.
Definitely.
But it feels like the script and direction didn't.
Yeah. I saw a comment under the video that was like something that I didn't particularly take away from the film, but on reflection, I feel like it does fit in that they were like this character of the driver, the delivery guy. He had so many opportunities to escape, but he chose not to. He chose to stay and fight.
Yeah, but they don't ever emphasize this point.
They don't emphasize the fact
issue.
that he doesn't want to survive. He wants to deliver the pizza.
This is what I'm saying. There's no moment. Why isn't there a whole fucking sequence where the very first time they fight, right? He knocks the pizza out of his hand, and then they just kind of fight. Yeah. That whole fight should have been, that joke should have been that the guy's trying to hit him or something. The whole time he's just holding the pizza away from him.
Yeah.
That's the gag.
Or
is that he's getting the shit kicked out of him, but the whole time he's like, oh, and he's just focused on that. He's like, don't drop it. Like, that would be amazing.
The
and it would feel
should revolve around that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That would make it fun. It would make the stakes suddenly make more sense. You're like, we know that he wants to get it there on time, and we now know that he's like the best delivery driver because he has the placard, and we know that he's the best because he gives a shit, and he really wants this person to have their pizza. And he wants it to be intact.
Even I feel like a goofy shot outside the you know when there's the insert shot of the timer going down, it's like 9 minutes 45, like at the very start. You could have a thing where he like synchronizes his watch to it, so he is
something like that, just to reinforce it. There's none of that. It doesn't do it's not doing any setup for a lot of what it's actually wanting to do. That's the issue. It just keeps kind of looking at this timer thing, and it's like it's not enough.
And there's a bunch of fight scenes in other films where it's like the hero character is holding a device that they don't want the villain to get, and they're like chucking it between their hands so that they can fight with different fists and stuff.
Do you know what happens in a lot? Jackie Chan films.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how he didn't figure this out. Yeah, again, I want to keep emphasizing this. It's a shame because there's so much potential and like they do have the ability to do that film, like that better version of it.
Yeah.
I think they just completely, I don't know how they missed it, but they just biffed it.
Yeah, because like the timer on the phone, you see it before he goes in the house, and then you just take a massive break from it until all the fighting's done, pretty much. Like,
and again, they don't give us any reason to believe he gives a shit about it.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that moment of showing he's the best delivery driver or whatever.
Yeah, you just have to imply
it's so thrown away in the background, that like thing of him being all over the walls and stuff. It needs to be a proper shot. You need to end that tracking shot landing on his face.
Or start it there.
Hey, no, I'll tell you what. You go through the restaurant, you land on the picture of his face at the very end, because all you've seen of him is his back carrying the pizza. Land on his face, pulling a stupid face maybe, like in the picture, and then match cut to him on his bike looking at his phone with the same face.
Oh yeah,
that's how you get
something
into
like that.
it.
Yeah,
and I think that immediately establishes so much. It's like, oh, here's our hero. Like, and this is what we know about him.
Or you can do that thing where, as he's leaving the restaurant, he kind of looks up or whatever, and you see you kind of track up to his face.
Yeah,
And
something.
then he leaves and closes the door, but the camera stays.
And then as he's walked away, it's like in frame of where his head was
exactly.
Yeah.
It's the exact photo of employee.
It writes itself. I don't. If us two idiots can figure this out, I don't understand these people with all these resources didn't, and that upsets me.
Yeah.
More for them than anything else. I'm just like, I really feel like these are things they're like, fuck, like
we could have done that. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a shame. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Not really. I think I've spoken about all the stuff I wanted to talk about. I don't know if I have any. I guess under like nitpicks, I would say. I guess a bit of a nitpick is if he gave a shit so much about the pizza the whole time, only for him to then throw it in the guy's face. Feels like it backtracks.
Yeah, that's very
character.
true. Yeah, but then they've not established the character enough for
so
you
I guess
to notice.
They get away with it. They actually had all this other stuff in there, and they cut it all so they could keep that. Like, it's like, wait,
God, sacrificing so much of the film. My nitpick is the when he opens the pizza and he takes a bite. The guy takes a bite. The one piece of pizza he picks up looks so different from all the other slices, because I assume that's the edible piece and the others are not.
Good shout.
The others look like really like cheesy and like golden and stuff, and this one looks like it's just come out of the oven.
Yeah.
And all the others don't, and it's like very obvious. It's very weird.
Fair enough.
that kind of made me laugh.
That's funny.
We spoke about the bad sound design already, really.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's it. I think I don't think I've got any other nitpicks. Just the one.
Good effort. Bad execution.
Yes. Which seems to be a common theme with short films, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's very tough. I do commend them for making it, and I think there's a lot in it that is good technically. I just think it's, again, it's not that it's necessarily bad, it's that it's capable of so much more, which makes it worse.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
When you can see where it could have been better.
Like, you could have done this. But anyway, whatever. If you ordered a pizza, and then while you were ordering it, you got attacked by a Russian hitman who speaks American, and the pizza was delivered by the film Pizza Time, short film, and you woke up, kind of after being beaten up, you woke up to find the film Pizza Time about to be shot by this hitman, Russian hitman who speaks American. Would you try and sneak away? Would you try and save Pizza Time? What would you do?
That's an interesting question. I feel like I would like try and kick the table that's in between us into the back of his legs or something like that. Try and help him that way.
The table's broken.
Oh, had he already fallen into it?
Yeah.
Had he?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'd probably try and help. I think. I know you wouldn't.
I definitely wouldn't. I'm leaving that building.
Yeah.
The only reason I can think of to stay is if I help him, then I can complain and get the new pizza. And then I'm also like, I'd rather be alive and have many pizzas, even if they're paid for.
Full price pizzas.
Yeah, I'm fine with that if I'm alive.
Fair enough.
Question time?
Yeah, quiz time.
QI. Question information.
I'm going to ask Alex 3 questions about films. If he gets all 3 right or all 3 wrong, he'll get an extra bonus question that's a true or false question. That would be a victory lap or a pity point. Question 1. Who am I? I was born in 1952 in New York, and as a youth, I focused on boxing, winning 27 of my 30 fights by 1973. I began acting in the 70s, and during the 80s, I starred in Dinah, Rumblefish, 9.5 Weeks, and Angel Heart. I briefly became a professional boxer in the 90s, but returned to acting, appearing in The Rainmaker, Get Carter, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I received a 2009 Golden Globe Award for my portrayal of a past his prime fighter. I said that really weirdly, didn't I? Question 2. Which actor linked the films Captain Blood, Dodge City, and The Charge of the Light Brigade?
Fuck. This is bullshit. You're making up questions.
I think this might be the hardest question we've ever had.
Can you say it again?
Which actor links the films Captain Blood, Dodge City, and The Charge of the Light Brigade?
Okay. What's the next question?
Do you think you know it?
No.
I think that's like the first time we've had that style of question.
Yeah, I like the style of question. It's just
Yeah.
all those films sound so made up.
Yeah. Question 3. From which film? What are their names? Who? The elves? Shit, I can't remember. I think one of them is Sneezy, and there's a Dopey. Are you gonna be getting a pity point this week?
I think I am. Jesus Christ.
Question 1.
And they were born in New York, did it say?
New York, New York.
In 1952.
Indeed.
Fucking hell, and they were in Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Part of me wants to say Mark Wahlberg.
Yes.
Is it?
No.
I was going to say, God, you threw me off then. I was going to say it can't be because I swear he's like from Boston.
And he's also not born in 1952.
I don't know. How old would he be now? Think about it. Because he's in like
I
his
think
50s,
he
I would argue.
was born in the 70s. Maybe late 60s, early 70s.
Actually, you're probably right. Is it Mickey Rourke?
Well done.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes! Past his prime fighter is in reference to the wrestler, not boxing.
Right.
That's why. That's
Oh.
why it fucked me over. Whew. Okay, give me the second one again.
It's been so long.
Yeah.
Which actor linked the
Oh,
films
fuck.
Captain Blood, Dodge City, and The Charge of the Light Brigade?
Part of me wants to throw a guess out. I think I have a name in my head,
Okay.
but I feel like it might be a weird one. I'm gonna guess David Nivens.
No.
Peter Cushing.
No.
Peter Sellers.
No.
Fuck, who was it?
Errol Flynn.
Oh, fuck.
Last one?
Yeah, go for it. I think I know this one. Is it Who Said This, sorry, or is it What Is the Film?
From which film?
From which film? Okay. I'm gonna throw out a wild guess. Okay, this is really wild. Is it Bright? The hit Netflix film with Will Smith?
No, it's not Bright.
Okay, I thought that was a good guess.
It's from 2003.
The film's from 2003.
Yeah.
Is it Bad Santa?
It is Bad Santa.
Fuck, I've seen that film so many times. My dad loves that film. Every Christmas I watch it with him.
Well, 1 point this week.
Fuck.
for Alex.
Same.
Did I get 2 points?
You got one.
Oh, okay. Let's run through the true or false very quickly.
Yeah.
There was a real Camp Crystal Lake in Florida, but it had to close after Friday the 13th movie as no one would send their children there anymore.
So that's true.
That is false. Boy band NSYNC made a cameo in Attack of the Clones, but they were edited out of the final cut.
Part of me feels like I've heard that. I'm going to say true.
It is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've heard that as well. All of Michael Winslow's sound effects in Police Academy were done by Bobcat Goldthwait and added in later.
Sorry, say that again?
All of Michael Winslow's sound effects in Police
No,
Academy.
false.
That is false.
Yeah, obviously. Michael Winslow does all his own sound effects. That's the fun of it.
I've not watched the film.
You son of a bitch. First two are good. Michael Winslow's really great if you look at any clips of him. He just makes noises. There's a bit where in the film they get lost in a scrapyard fighting a gang, and he's like on his own. And so what he does is he digs through the scrapyard and he makes it look like he's a cyborg, and then he just makes the sound effects as if he's like a cyborg, and he's so good at it that they will get freaked out and they run away. It's fucking great. Michael Winslow's incredible.
Well,
thanks for listening, guys. Make sure to hit like and / or subscribe. You can only pick one. But if you hit subscribe, make sure you hit the bell icon because it's cool and fun. That's it.
okay.
What sort of comments should they leave?
Is it pizza time where you are?
Yeah, just comment yes or no below. That's it. That's it this time. No elaborate ruse or scheme.
Yeah.
Just yes or no. Is it pizza time currently where you are? Please write down the location and timestamp your comment as well.
Yes, that would be much obliged.
Yeah, we'll do the conversions and we'll figure it out.
Yes.
But until next time, you won't hear us, But we'll see you. Bye.
Bye.
Man, I really want pizza. Is
Yeah.
it pizza time here?